this time I got a Toshiba SD3750 DVD CD player, and it has a problem. Yes, it does play, it just doesn't play properly. So we're going to see if we can get this one to work and see whether it'll do anything other than, well, you'll see what it's doing in a minute. But it's not working properly. It's going to play for about 45 seconds and then quit. Let's check it out. I've got a Toshiba DVD video player. This is the model SD3750. And this one here appears to have a small problem. Now, this is just a regular DVD player, but it has the ability to play back MP3 discs that are on CDR or CDRW. And generally, a unit like this, that's what I would use it for. This is my unit. It was given to me. It was left at the same time that Betamax was left at my door. And I would use a unit like this if it works, because I have a lot of discs that I recorded in MP3 format, which I used to listen to in my car. My wife drives that car now that's got the CD player. The new car doesn't have a CD player in it anymore, so I got all these discs that I've recorded over the years, which I need to use a player like this to play them in. And the thing is, a lot of these cheap basic CD players of like 20 years ago would play MP3 CDs. Not all of them did a very good job of doing it. So if we get one that does a pretty good job of doing it, then I'm happy. But this one here appears to have a problem. Like, even this is just a regular CD, and if I play it, it will stop playing. It's going to play for a bit, and then it's going to stop. I haven't tried the DVD in it yet, but I just tried a CD in it, and it'll play. It's going to play for a few minutes here. The nice thing about this is it's got controls on the front that you can do. I don't know whether you can put it into random mode. I haven't figured that out yet, but menu, no. A lot of times you need the remote control to do things. We've got a navigation key, and it says virtual remote. I wonder what that does. I don't know whether it's got the ability to go to random mode player or not. Anyway, what I found is that this unit it'll play for 46 seconds and then stop. That's why I wasn't touching it. So, I didn't do anything. I can start the track up again. If I try to go to the next track, it just sits there. So I think we got a jammed laser on this, and I get a sneaking suspicion if I put in a CD or a DVD, it's probably going to do the same thing. I bet you it's going to play for a bit, and it's going to just stop. Either the laser itself is stuck, or the sled motor is not working. But let's just see what happens when I put in a DVD. And I'll show the screen while I'm doing this. This is just one of my scenery discs. We'll see if it'll play for a while, or whether it'll play at all. My bet is it's going to play and it's going to stop. Let's just see whether I'm right. Well, it hasn't even got to the point where it's going to play yet. It's not reading the disc. So we got a problem with this one. I think we'll probably be able to solve this one. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping it's a mechanical problem, but who knows. It does read audio CDs. I don't think it's going to read. I'll try putting in an MP3 disc and see if it will read an MP3 disc. I've got one here with MP3. It's supposed to read MP3, but we'll see whether it will actually read the disc. Disk error. Please check disk. Well, I know that there's no error on the disc itself, but on the screen it says disk error. So, definitely, this unit has a fault. So let's rip this one apart and see if I can make it work. That's got our wonderful surface mount craps in it. Looks like someone's done a mod to it at some point too. An extra resistor or something they forgot to put on at the factory. I'm more curious as to what the pickup is doing, so let me just open this up. And I'll load a disc again. I just want to see what it does. So I'll just load a, this is an MP3 disc. Actually, I'll put the audio disc back in because it was playing that until it wasn't. We'll see whether it will play it again or whether it's going to now reject this one. I just want to watch what it does. See whether it's sticking. I don't think it wants to play. Okay, there it's going to play. Looks like it's going to play. It's indicating it's going to play. And it's not playing. Now I don't see the gear even trying to move here. I wonder if it's sticking. Okay, I get the sneaking suspicion that there might be a broken gear or something on here, or a grain of sand or something stuck in the teeth. So let's just remove the CD player mechanism or the DVD player mechanism from here, if I can open it. And actually, we can probably see this without taking it apart because everything's kind of exposed here. Let me see if I can get a shot. Right from here, we can see the gears. So there's the stud mechanism on this. I just want to see whether it'll actually turn or whether it's sticking. It doesn't. It seems like it doesn't even want to turn. Like it's not turning. I wonder if there's something stuck. Unplug the power so it doesn't try to move. I just wonder if there's something stuck in the teeth here. Is there a grain of sand in here? I wonder. Yeah, there's something stuck right there. You can see, look, it's making one revolution. Is it cracked or is there something stuck in the teeth? Can we see? Let me see if I can get a closer up view. I think we got a cracked gear. Take a look. See the crack in the gear right down there? There's our problem. When that gear tries to mesh, it sticks because there's a crack right there in the gear. Okay, so this one here, unless I can find a replacement gear that's not going to jam, I think this one's going to be a write-off. So let me just take a look and see whether I can find a gear in another mechanism that's of the same pitch as this one. But that's where our fault is on this one, unfortunately. This is the old cracked gear syndrome, which I don't think I'm going to be able to solve without replacing it. I'll remove the mechanism so it's easier to work on as it just unplugs. We're using ribbon cables made by Sony Chemicals, as it says right there. Sony Chemicals. I'm hopeful if I look on some of my old Traverses that I might find a gear that is the same as this one.
Now, of course, what causes these gears to crack is that the plastic shrinks over time, and if being sitting on a metal shaft for the motor, the metal doesn't shrink, the plastic does, and it gets tight, and eventually it breaks.
Generally, before you unplug these optical pickups, you want to put the shorting connections on, so I'm just going to do that. I don't want to zap the optical pickup at this point. So I'm just going to put the two little solder bridges on before I unplug it. Because as long as it's plugged into the main board, there's no chance of static electricity building up and zapping the pickup. But as soon as you disconnect it, then it's isolated. Static electricity can build up and short or blow the laser diode. They are some of the more sensitive of the devices as far as electrostatic discharge is concerned. They're right near the top of the the list of devices which are damaged easily. Normally I don't pay much attention to it, but on laser pickups I do, just because they are so sensitive to electrostatic discharge. So we put the jumper in place for both the CD and the laser, or the DVD pickup. Alright, okay, pickup is bridged. So now I can safely unplug the optical pickup, so I can remove everything and put the rest of the unit out of the way for now. I can turn this over and remove the actual pickup from, or the traverse from the plastic housing by removing the 4 screws. I guess I should shut the camera off now, because that guy that doesn't like videos longer than 10 minutes is going to be complaining. Oh, he won't be complaining. He's unsubbed now, so I don't have to worry about him anymore. Imagine the gall. I'm going to unsub from your channels because your videos are too long. So here's the problem right here. You can see that that tooth is opened up and it no longer meshes. So what happens is when the motor tries to move to traverse, it jams. So I need to pull that gear off, and I need to try to find another gear that will replace this. Well, I don't have anything that's even close to that size. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to melt it back together. We'll use a hot wire, I think might be the safest way to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of wire through into the crack, and then pass an electric current through that wire and cause the wire to get hot, which should hopefully fuse the plastic internally back together. So I'm just looking for something small enough that I can fish in there. I'm thinking a piece from like an HDMI cable or LDVS will probably have a conductor that's fine enough that I can thread into the crack, and then while it's there, apply a bit of a voltage to it, which will heat it up and hopefully fuse the plastic back together. That's the idea anyway. I'm going to use 1 volt. I'm going to have my current limited to about 2.5 amps, I think, and hopefully that will produce enough heat in the little wire that I've pushed through the crack to heat it up enough that it will melt the plastic. So here's the gear with the wires threaded through it. I don't know if I'm going to be on camera when I do this or not, because I'm not really looking at the monitor, but we'll clip on the wires when I do this, and try not to burn my fingers at the same time, because this wire probably will get relatively warm when I do this. Okay, this should get hot. Drawing 1.6 amps through this wire now, and as it gets hot, I'm just going to pull it through the crack, and yes, I can feel the heat from it. It's getting warm. And did that fix the crack in the gear? Let's see. Well, there's where the crack was, right there. Let's put it back on the unit and see whether it opens up. Alright, so
I also used a small round file to open up the inside diameter a bit, because it was going to be a very tight fit. I figured it might break again, so I've opened up the inside of the gear.
It's not opened up, and it's not sticking like it was before. I think probably just a drop of glue or something on top of here, just to try to maintain it so it doesn't break again. The reason these break is because the plastic shrinks, and of course when the plastic shrinks, it no longer, the metal shaft obviously isn't going to shrink. So as the plastic shrinks, the diameter of the inside diameter of the hole here becomes smaller, which of course, as it compresses, it causes the plastic to stretch, and once it stretches past a certain point, it breaks. So I think what I'll do now is I'm just going to put a drop of super glue on top, just to stop it for any possible slippage down the road, and we'll put the unit back together and see if it plays. I don't feel any resistance now. whereas before it was sticking. So hopefully that's got it. Okay, I've glued it into place. Not sticking now, turning quite freely. So let's reassemble the unit and see whether it will work. Fingers crossed that it's going to work. Plug the ribbon cable in first, and then undo the shorting straps that are on the pickup. Okay, the jumpers are out. I'll just mount a couple screws in the base here just to hold the transport in place for testing. And then we'll give it a quick test and see whether it will play more than one track. In this case, it only played the first 45 seconds and then started to freeze up. So if it'll play through multiple tracks, then we know that the problem is resolved, at least for now. The problem with these nylon gears is that they will continue to shrink. So there's a good chance that it'll fracture again down the road. It's one of the reasons why I kind of filed it a bit, to try to give myself a little more leeway there before it breaks again. Put the nose cone on the disc. Okay, this is a regular audio CD. Remember, it only played 46 seconds and it would not play a second track. So if I skip to the next track, we hear that it works. I'll next load up a MP3 disc, which I won't be able to play for any length of time, but we'll try it out. See if I can get this thing to go into random play as well, because it should support random playback. Okay, it started playing already. See if I can figure out how to make this thing play in random play. Well, there it is, playing track 150. I got 150 tracks on this disc, but no way to select random playback without the remote control, which I don't have, which kind of sucks, because it's always nice to be able to load a disc with some music and just let it rip, let it play, and not necessarily want to hear stuff in the order that it was put onto the disc. I'm going to try the DVD portion out now, make sure that that's working. There it is. The DVD player is working. It's playing MP3 discs, audio discs, and of course DVDs, just like it was designed. If you've got one of these units that refuses to play, check for that cracked gear. And, well, I repaired this one. Did it using a hot wire just to melt the plastic and allow it to fuse back together to hold the teeth together. How long it's going to last, who knows. I did use a small file just to increase the inside diameter ever so slightly. I didn't show that on camera, but I did use a very small round file just to take a little bit of the inside diameter off so that when I put it onto the motor shaft I didn't break it again because it was a tight fit. Anyway, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.